Today. Welcome to the deep dive. We've pulled together a really sharp stack of sources today, all focused on something lots of people kind of misunderstand: frugal living.
Hmm.
Most people hear frugality and they think, okay, sacrifice, clipping coupons, constantly saying no to yourself.
Right, and that's exactly what this research pushes back against. These, 20 strategies you shared? They really emphasize that true frugality isn't about deprivation. It's actually resource optimization.
Resource optimization. I like that.
Yeah, it's about being smart, efficient, and, really intentional with every dollar, making sure you get maximum quality, maximum long-term value.
So our goal for this deep dive then is to really analyze these strategies, get into the why behind the what. We want to show you how you can save, serious money, but still maintain your style, your confidence.
Yeah.
Looking past just the quick sales and focusing on those like permanent strategic shifts.
Yeah. And that long-term focus, that's really the cornerstone here. If you start thinking about purchases by their lifespan, like what some call the total cost of ownership, it fundamentally changes how you make financial decisions.
Total cost of ownership.
Yeah, because those cheap buys,
Yeah.
often they're just a future liability, right? They break, they wear out, you got to buy them again. Okay, let's unpack that. Starting with something that sounds like a bit of a contradiction. How do you look good, buy quality things, and still spend less? This seems to be about intentional consumption. Exactly. It's tip 6 in the sources, basically.
Yeah.
Buy quality over quantity.
Right. This is really just financial strategy wearing a style hat. I mean, think about it. You spend, say, $200 on one really great leather jacket, and it lasts you 15 years. Your cost per year is, what, less than $14? Okay, yeah. Compare that to buying 5 cheap $50 jackets that each fall apart after maybe 18 months. You've spent $250 in just over 7 years, and they probably looked worn out most of that time anyway. So the sources really hammer this. Calculate that total cost of ownership, the TCO. It shows that higher initial price is often an investment, not really an expense. That investment thinking ties right into tip 1, doesn't it? Mastering the capsule wardrobe. If I'm aiming for quality, well, I probably need to buy less overall. Precisely. The advice is pretty standard. Neutral colors, good fabrics, classic cuts. The sources mention needing maybe just 5 shirts that fit perfectly instead of, 20 random things that don't quite work.
Right.
Less clutter, less decision-making in the morning too, I guess.
That's the hidden efficiency game, minimizing decision fatigue. If it all kind of goes together, you save time, effort every single day. But hang on, I got to push back a bit for the listener here.
Okay.
If I'm starting from zero and need these high-quality basics, isn't that a huge upfront cost? Doesn't that kind of work against saving money right now?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's definitely a higher barrier to entry.
Yeah.
But the sources seem to frame it more as a shift in your priorities.
Okay, how so?
Instead of asking, like, how much can I blow this month? You ask, what's the one most important high-quality thing I need that will actually reduce my spending down the road? It flips saving from denial into strategic allocation.
Strategic allocation, got it.
Okay.
And even the most strategic person, we're all vulnerable to impulse buys.
Yeah.
And this stack of sources had a couple of really good mental tricks for that, didn't they, to fight that urge?
Yes, the power of waiting. Tip 10 is the classic 24-hour rule. You see something online, in a store, just wait a day. If you still really feel you need it, okay, maybe. But so often that desire is just tied to the novelty, the, urgency marketing stuff.
And for bigger things, non-essentials. The sources say stretch that out even more. That's tip 14, the 30-day rule.
Right, 30 days.
Yeah, slap a mandatory 1-month wait on any major non-essential buy, especially gadgets. It lets the psychological rush just fizzle out.
Yeah.
Usually that time reveals it was just a passing want, not a real long-term need. It's like behavioral science for your wallet. And this idea of waiting connects straight to tip 19. Timing your purchase. It's not just waiting to kill the impulse, but waiting for the price to drop.
Okay.
Exactly. Prices peak when demand peaks, necessity or seasonality. Don't buy the swimsuit in July or the snow shovel in January, right?
Makes sense. The sources are really clear on this. Plan those big clothing or tech purchases for the off-season. They talk about massive savings. Strategic patience basically becomes a profit center for you. Profit center, I like that. Okay, excellent. Let's shift gears now completely away from buying stuff and towards internal resourcefulness. This whole theme of self-reliance, domestic efficiency. Yeah, this is my favorite bit, honestly. It feels empowering. Tip 2 is super straightforward. Learn basic DIY skills.
We're not talking major renovations, just, fixing a leaky faucet, patching a small hole in the wall, maybe putting together some flat pack furniture.
And the savings can be huge, can't they? I mean,
Yeah.
think what a handyman or plumber charges per hour. If you spend one afternoon learning to fix a running toilet from a YouTube video, you've probably saved yourself hundreds.
Totally. And the empowerment part is huge too. Realizing the how-to for so many common things is just out there, free online.
Yeah, YouTube University. Exactly. And speaking of daily drains on the wallet, let's hit a big one, a habit a lot of people just don't track because it feels small. Tip 3, the coffee cost killer. Ah, yes, the latte factor. The sources had some specific math on this, and it was pretty startling.
It really is. If you skip that, say, $5 daily latte, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, that's $1,250. $1,250.
Wow.
Just by switching to brewing your own at-home simple French press. Grind your own beans, maybe pull over $1,000 back into your budget. That's, like you said, a flight somewhere or a big chunk of an emergency fund.
It's a classic example of a recurring, controllable expense that just bleeds you slowly. And that ties into efficiency with food, too, right? Cooking versus ordering out.
Oh, massively. The cost difference is huge, obviously, but it's also health, time management. Tips 7 and 18 really push meal prep as a ritual.
The Sunday cook-off?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dedicate some time, cook big batches chili, stir-fry stuff, grilled chicken, whatever. It totally defeats that, ugh, I'm too tired to cook feeling on a Tuesday night that leads straight to a $40 delivery order.
Saves money, saves decision energy later in the week. Makes sense. And the last one in this sort of self-reliance bucket. Tip 4, optimizing the gym routine. Gym memberships. They can be sneaky. Sneaky budget killers, the sources called them.
Yeah, they rely on that sunk cost fallacy, right? I pay $60 a month, I should go, even if you don't.
So what's the frugal alternative?
Prioritize consistency over fancy machines. You can build a really effective home gym, couple dumbbells, a mat, resistance bands for less than 6 months of a fancy membership.
And once you have it, you have it. It's an asset.
Exactly. It's a perpetual asset. If the goal is just moving your body and staying healthy, you often don't need all the expensive bells and whistles.
That's pure efficiency. Okay, let's transition again. Now we're looking at managing the systems you already have in place. Financial systems, automation, optimization, making your existing money work smarter.
Right. And the first step, maybe the most crucial, is knowledge. Tip 8, track every dollar. You can't optimize what you don't measure.
Precisely. And this isn't just glancing at your bank statement later. The sources really stress using tools apps, basically, that categorize and visualize your spending.
So you can actually see where it's going.
Exactly. Specific app names change, whatever. But you need that function. Something that shows you, okay, this much on groceries, this much on subscriptions. It lets you spot the trends, the leaks. Without that clear picture, those small discretionary costs are invisible. Which leads right to the next tip.
Cutting the clutter. The subscription creep. Oh yeah, we all do it. Auto-renewal is the default setting for everything. Going through and actively canceling unused subscriptions, streaming services, cloud storage you forgot about, that app you tried once, it's one of the fastest ways to find quick budget wins.
Those $10 charges just sneak up on you. Add up to hundreds a year easily.
Definitely. But technology isn't just the problem. It can be the solution too. Tip 12 is about using discount apps or browser extensions.
Like Rakuten or Honey.
Yeah, things like that. Tools that automatically check for coupons or cashback deals before you click buy on anything online. It reinforces that idea that small automated savings really do add up. Save 5% here, 3% there. Across 20 purchases, it becomes real money effortlessly.
And speaking of effortless saving,
Yeah.
automation itself. Tip 15, the classic, pay yourself first.
Such a powerful concept. The sources stress just how impactful setting up an automatic transfer is. Even if it's just, say, $50 a paycheck, straight into savings or investments the second your pay hits.
You never miss it because you never see it in your checking account.
Exactly. It ensures that savings happen consistently. Without willpower, it just grows.
Okay, so if we automate savings, can we automate getting better prices too? This brings up tip 16, optimizing your bills through negotiation. This feels like a high-leverage move.
It really is. The sources specifically mention phone, internet, insurance bills. And they point out cutting these often takes just like 20 minutes of focused effort.
20 minutes for potentially saving money every single month indefinitely. Why? Why do companies even allow that?
Inertia. They count on the fact that most customers just won't bother calling. That 20-minute call, maybe threatening to switch providers, that often gets you to a retention department.
The magic retention department.
Yeah, and they usually have the power to offer you a lower rate, maybe the one new customers get, that you've been missing out on for years. It's an incredible return on your time, leveraging their own system against them. Okay, let's shift to the final segment. Big picture moves, lifestyle choices, the really major cost centers that shape your financial landscape.
Right, and a huge one is transportation. There's a two-part strategy here in the sources. First, tip 5 is about preventative maintenance on your car.
Keep it maintained. Drive gently. Check the tires. Boring stuff, but important.
Super important. It saves gas, sure, but more critically, it helps prevent those catastrophic, budget-destroying breakdowns that force you into sudden expensive repairs. Plus, avoid speeding tickets.
Good point. And the second part of the car strategy is about buying it in the first place. Tip 13.
Yeah, this is about the harsh math of depreciation. A new car loses a huge chunk of its value the second you drive it off the lot. That's literally money vanishing.
Actively being destroyed, as you said earlier. Right. So buying a reliable used car, one that's already taken that biggest depreciation hit, financially, it's almost always the smarter move.
And the ultimate frugal transport option, obviously, is getting rid of the car altogether, if possible. Biking, public transport.
Definitely. Cuts insurance, gas, maintenance, everything. Very eco-friendly, too, of course.
Okay, moving beyond transport, tip 17 is about embracing secondhand and free stuff.
Yeah, the sources argue there should be zero shame about this, especially for big things that depreciate fast, like furniture. They specifically mention things like Facebook Marketplace as gold mines for finding quality stuff cheap, or sometimes even free if you haul it away. It's that mindset shift again, isn't it? From needing new to seeking value, which kind of ties into the last main tip, tip 9, embracing free entertainment.
Frugality here isn't about being bored. It's about shifting focus from passive consumption to active connection and experiences. Right, think about it. The quality of engagement you get from going for a hike, reading a great library book, listening to, a deep dive like this, or even just hosting a simple game night with friends.
Yeah.
Those activities build real social bonds, personal growth, and they don't cost much, if anything. It's a stark contrast to the often fleeting buzz you get from expensive consumer entertainment.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together. We've gone through, 19 specific tips here, all reframing frugality. Not as sacrifice, but as a toolkit of strategies.
Yeah, the core message seems to be that this isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality, high-leverage planning.
Taking control. Exactly. These strategies fundamentally boost your control over your resources. And that leads directly towards financial freedom, right? You optimize where the money goes, so you have more left for what actually matters to you. Travel, learning, more time, whatever it is. Which brings us perfectly to that final strategic move, tip 20. The sources called it the ultimate frugal hack, investing in yourself. Learning new skills, reading widely, maybe starting a side hustle. Basically anything that increases your core earning potential.
Because earning more is ultimately the most powerful way to improve your financial situation.
Right. So we have to leave the listener with this thought. If you can get disciplined enough to automate saving, say $50 from each paycheck, how much time and energy should you intentionally invest this month, specifically in boosting your earning power? That intentional shift. That's where massive financial growth can really come from.